What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Wingers and Defenders. Today is our biggest video of this YouTube show. And today we'll be doing the Premier League predictions. We got Agent Jake down in the bottom. You got Joe, who's having a howler as a Spurs fan, but doesn't matter. Biggest video of our channel so far, so this is going to be a good one. We'll go through all the teams alphabetically, and then all three of us will list where we believe they will finish in the table and kind of just briefly discuss why we think they're going to finish where they are. And yeah, we'll come up with three winners, three top fours, three relegation battles. The whole list will go on. So quickly, we'll just start. Jake and Joe, how you doing?
I'm chilling, man. Had a great Labor Day weekend. We head on all the work right now. Steelers in a week. Going to be smoking a Giants pack. Can't wait, man.
Jake?
I'm ready for war, Christian.
Joe is not, as we can see
Yo,
in the top
you should
left
put
corner.
when we put this video up for this part. You should put in that Vietnam War song by CCR.
Okay, let's go. Let's just get into this since Joe is going on a random tangent once again. We'll start with Arsenal, and since that is Jake's team, let us know where you believe they will finish in the table.
Obviously, Arsenal Football Club is a prestigious franchise. I'm a supporter, been a supporter for almost 6 years now. Personally, with the team that we have, currently, as of September 7th, we don't have an Thomas Partey deal in place yet or Hassam Owar deal in place yet. For that reason, I'm saying we're going to finish fifth because I think we are not top four quality. Even if we added Partey or Owar to the club, I don't think we're top four anyway. I think Manchester United and Chelsea have a better team than us on paper. And obviously City and Liverpool are in a whole different stratosphere compared to us. I think I'm going to back my team. I think we're better than Tottenham. I think we're better than Wolves. We're better than Leicester. I think with Arteta under a full season, if he gets one or two more signings this summer, I think this is a fifth place team. I think, we're not going to be a team that's going to contend for a title. We're obviously going to contend for an FA Cup like we always do. In Europa League, I think we can win that. But in all honesty, I think Arsenal's going to finish in fifth place.
Joe, excuse me.
Respectable. I mean, I think they're going to be a pretty good team this year as well. I think I'm going to pick another football analogy here. I think they're basically, though, the Oakland Raiders of the Premier League. I think they have a very storied history, especially in the Prem. I think they've won titles in the past. They have a great history. But as of right now, they're just not on that next level. They're kind of in the hunt, kind of not. They're the middle of the pack a little bit, kind of like the Raiders are. I got them at sixth. I got them at 65 points. I think they're going to have a good year. I just don't think they're on that trophy level this season. I think I like Arteta a lot. I think he's building a good team there. I think that just like John Gruden in the 70s was building a good team there in Oakland. And I think that Arteta's going to win trophies. We already know he's already won one trophy. We saw him win the FA Cup, and kudos to him and Arsenal. So congrats to that. So but I mean, when I'm talking about the Raiders like that, I mean, I'm talking about a major trophy like the Premier League, Europa League, or Champions League. Trophies that have more impact on a club than say an FA Cup. So that's just my take on them. I think they're going to come out. They're going to be a quality team this year. I just don't think they're going to be a top four team. I think they'll get Europa again, but that's just my take on the Arsenal Football Club of 2020-2021.
Fair enough. Both of you made very good points. I picked one of the spots that one of you chose. And even though the Oakland Raiders analogy kind of confuses me because I don't even know how many titles the Raiders have won, but
I believe
anyway,
they have three because I think they won one or two in the 70s and they won one with Bo
don't
Jack.
know. But I'm going with what Joe just mentioned in sixth. I think you're talking about a team, and I think the tight race between fifth through nine in that vicinity is going to be really close. I had a tough time picking really 5 through 7, even 8. So, but Spurs, Arsenal, I got some other teams in that area. So that'll be interesting to see where it goes. Like you just mentioned, Jake, no Thomas Partey yet, no Aouar. I don't even know if there's anybody that you are heavily linked besides that. Could Mesut Ozil make an impact this season?
No.
Could some other guys do some things? Gabriel's a big move. But to keep it brief, I just have Arsenal there. I think they're on the uptick, but there's some other teams in that area that I believe have a better overall team going into this season. So we'll move on. to Aston Villa. We'll just go in the same order. Jake, where you got them?
Aston Villa is a team that I actually liked this season in the Premier League. I like Jack Grealish a lot. I think Jack Grealish is probably the best player I've seen play in a relegation side in a while. I think Villa narrowly escaped relegation this season, and I think they will not be as lucky this time around. I have them tipped to finish 19th this season. I think Villa's going down this season. I think Grealish will stay for another season, but after this season, I think he's moving to a bigger club, and he won't be in the championship back in championship in 2022. So yeah, I have Villa going down in 19th place on 30 points.
Joe?
I got them 18th going down on 36 points. I think Jake basically hit the nail on the head. They're just not fully there. They got Jack Grealish, and they were helped by the fact that AFC Bournemouth was trash. Norwich was trash. And honestly, I'm blanking on the other team that went down. I don't know why. Watford was also trash. I think this year's Prem is a little bit stronger. Don't think they're going to go down. I mean, I do think they're going to go down. I don't think they're going to stay up. 36 points, 18th place for Villa.
So I was between two teams to finish 18th, and I ended up not going with Aston Villa. I have them sneaking out once again. The team I have in 18th, which we will mention pretty soon, I believe had very little amount of signings, let some big players go, and Aston Villa didn't make a lot of moves, but they did retain every key player pretty much. And the one thing I'm going to look out for is Wesley, who missed about half the season, who was their striker, really had no goal contributions when he was available, and then got a nasty injury, was out for most of the season. And yes, they got lucky. They were fortunate to advance, but there were a lot of games where they deserved points towards the end. I predict them to fight, and they ended up getting through, which somehow I predicted that correctly with, like Joe just mentioned, a pretty poor bottom four last season. It could have really been any of those four, even a fifth. West Ham was pretty poor as well. But I think Aston Villa will sneak out. Grealish will be gone after next season, but I believe they will have the ability to, under Dean Smith, retain another league season in the Premier League. But we'll move on to Brighton, a very interesting team, a team that's coached by Graham Potter, a very interesting and attacking-minded coach. But, Jake, where you got them?
This could be a bit of a shocker to some people. I have Brighton tipped to finish 18th going down. I think Brighton has showed resilience every season they've been in the Premier League. I think this will be their fourth, maybe, in the Premier League. And, you know, honestly, I could be wrong about this, definitely. I think they'll finish somewhere between 15th and 18th, and I'm going to go with 18th. I think the teams I have above them are stronger than they are, and I think, you know, I don't think they have the squad depth to really get them out of the relegation battle. Now, those teams in like 17th through 20th don't really have squad depth, but I really don't think Brighton has enough in the tank really to stay up again. I think there's too much quality above them, and that's why I think they're going to go down.
I have a totally different opinion than you, brother. I have them at 14th on 43 points. I like Brighton. I like Sussex. I think I like the Seagulls. I like Seagulls. They're pretty cool. I mean, except when they try to eat at lunch. So I'm rooting for them.
I mean,
so yeah. So me liking Seagulls, I like their team. They injured Leno. Not a lot of things there to like.
That is just rude.
Oh, this is funny. This is really funny.
I'm playing. I wish injuries on no one, and I actually do like Leno. I think he's a very good goalkeeper. But all jokes aside, I do like Brighton. I like Graham Potter, and I think like you were mentioning their resilience. I think they're gonna get up there. I think they're adjusting to the Premier League now. They're kind of full swing. I think they're gonna be here for a decent amount of time.
Me and Joe are on the same page. I got them in 14th. Adam Lallana is a creative midfielder, which will be a big impact. But even with that, Ben White is coming back. He signed a new deal with Brighton. Leeds could not hold on to him after his loan expired. That's going to be a big deal, even though they lost Shane Duffy, their Irish center back who was playing alongside Lewis Dunk, who got a new deal as well, a 5-year deal. I think this team has the ability to stay up and finish around mid-table, which is a solid thing. They're looking to move up and get to 10th in that area, but I don't see it happening this year. But I guess me and Joe are on the same page, 14th.
Hey, Christian, let me get a virtual high five. Yeah.
All right. Let's move on to Burnley. Jake, we'll keep going in the same order. What do you got?
Burnley, I think they're a bang average squad, and I have them tipped to finish 10th, right, smack dab in the middle. I think they are the epitome of smack dab in the middle. They are not going to win a lot of games. They're not going to lose a lot of games. They're going to draw a lot of games, and they're going to play a lot of defense. This is due to their lack of resources. They don't always have the most money or players come in that are flashy enough. They do have McNeil, I'm pretty sure, who's actually a pretty quality player for them, a really creative player, which is kind of interesting because he's developing under a team that's mostly defensive. But, yeah, Burnley is a team. I hate watching them play football. I never want to watch a Burnley game. Even when they play Arsenal, it's going to be a bore. But I have them finishing 10th because I think they're going to get results when people least expect it. I think they're going to finish on 57 points in 10th, yeah.
I got them 12th, man. I got them at 46 points. I think they're okay. Not 12th, 13th. Correct me there. 13th on 46 points. I think they're just an average team, man. Don't do much for me. I kind of like that 4-4-2 breaking down style of play. Nice.
Of course you do.
Anti football, man. Have to respect it. They get results. The most likely team to go invincible this year. 0 wins, 0 losses, and 38 draws, baby. Let's see it happen. That's what I want to see happen. But, I mean, 13th. That's my pick.
They won't finish 13th if that happens, by the way.
I know they won't. I'm just saying that's what I think will happen. What I want to happen is that 38, no losses, no wins.
Yeah, but then they wouldn't finish 14th or 13th. They'd finish like 16th.
No, I understand that. I'm saying what I want to happen in my prediction.
Okay.
Are you not following? Like, are you guys, Christian? You following?
You said they're going to finish 13th, but you want them to. I'm confused, but you can
just let him go.
So they're going to finish 13th on 46 points, in my opinion, right?
Yeah.
But what I would like to see happen is that to them finish with 38 points or wherever on the table. I don't really care where on the table, but they do it while going invincible, just with draws.
So you want them to be very successful failures, essentially.
Correct.
Okay.
Okay. Well, I have a completely different spectrum of
They
where
got
they're
a gold
going.
trophy for that?
No.
Joe, what are you?
Like, you know how Arsenal get the gold trophy for
we
going
won the
invincible?
league. We won the league. That's why.
I don't know. I think going invincible in yourself, you
Christian,
deserve some
please
type
go.
of- some
Okay,
type of
Joe.
trophy.
Let me talk about Burnley.
Oh.
I have them going down in 18th. Shocker, but I just wanted to tell you that Jeff Hendricks out.
Ooh.
Midfield. Don't, Joe. You've had enough hot takes. I'm gonna have my own. Aaron Lennon's out. Those and Jeff Hendrick are two key players that have played significant minutes for them. I hate their football. I do not like it at all. Joe says Nick Pope's a bad keeper, so maybe with a bad keeper, supposedly they shouldn't be good, right, Joe? So
Yeah, but they play football that makes him good. I'm saying
I don't like their football. I think Sean Dyche's football for them is dry. It's not going to work anymore. 18th, hot take. Don't care.
I got
I
a hot take later, so I'm just waiting for it.
Chelsea.
He's saying Tottenham 19th.
Joe, why are you going on a tangent? Let's move on to Chelsea. Jake, go ahead.
Chelsea, this is a team that has spent over $200 million in the last 6 months or so. I had them tipped to finish third on 80 points. So they're going to crack 80s. They're going to finish in third behind Liverpool, Manchester City. There's just too much talent on that team for them to fail. I think if Frank cannot put it together with the amount of weapons he has on the field, the only question mark is defense still. They added Chilwell. They added Thiago Silva. But they don't have that center back that's like they're really like, serious guy. So I personally think third place is where they're going to stay at. The third best team in the country. I think they're just too good all around the pitch.
Yeah, I think Chelsea is honestly the most talented team in the Premier League. I have them finishing second with 87 points. You know why I don't have them finishing first, guys? You know why I don't have them finishing first? Frank Lampard cannot finish the job as manager. He's going to bottle it towards the end of the season. Mark my words.
They're better than Jose.
He's not, though, but okay.
He finished above him in his first season.
Congrats on doing that with no injuries like that.
Yeah, but he had a bunch of kids playing all season. And he got to a cup final.
Wait a minute, did you say no
players.
injuries? Pulisic was hurt for half the season. And he's the
Okay.
best player.
He's exposed. You saw his face. He had exposed. He said,
Saw.
it's
Davey.
embarrassing.
He just said Ben Davies.
It was not
Laurie.
Joe,
let's
wait.
move on.
You can talk about Spurs when we get to them.
Chelsea second. That's shocking.
Wait, he said second?
He said second.
Oh, wow.
It's shocking.
Wow.
It's shocking.
Okay.
You know my opinion on a certain manager.
Well, yeah, we'll get to that.
Okay, we'll move on. That's another day. I have Chelsea in third.
Later.
I have Chelsea in third. I was close and thinking about moving it into second, but I just think the team above them's gonna have too much talent for them to catch them. Like Joe just mentioned, they are probably on paper right there with Liverpool and Manchester City talent-wise, but Kepa's still there, and they haven't found a replacement.
Mendy.
That's the issue. I don't know why Joe's bringing up Lampard as the biggest problem, because it really still is Kepa. And
Mendy.
even a second center back, Zuma, do I really trust him as a Premier League title center back? No. So there's some issues still there, but the team's loaded. They're going to score goals after goals. They're going to probably have near 100 goals in the Premier League. I believe that they're going to be running riot against some of these really bad teams towards the bottom of the table. But, yep, Chelsea third place, and I think that's right where they're going to be. Let's move on to Crystal Palace and another London club. But, Jake, go ahead.
Crystal Palace is hard for me because I don't know if they're going to finish 11th or they're going to finish 15th or 16th. I think it really depends on how they start the season and how many injuries they get. I think Zaha is key. He had an off season this season. I think he only had 4 goals and 3 assists, but he had the most take-ons, most dribbles completed in the league. If he gets off to a good start for them, I think this team can finish, 12th, 13th. But I have them finishing 15th on 40 points. I think they're going to struggle this season. I don't have too much to really say. I think they're not going to be that great. They're going to be enough to stay up, but nothing special.
Well, you know my opinions on Zaha, the Tavon Austin of the Premier League. Zaha, Zaha is
right.
Tavon Austin because if you guys know, Tavon Austin's got the most fire mixtape, right? You look at his mixtape, his tapes from college, man. That thing go crazy, right? So basically, Zaha is like every single mixtape he has and like compilations of him, just absolutely fire. No
Joe,
one.
This is a world football show, not an American football show. Why is everything
one
got to
touches
be
Zaha, right? So no one touches Zaha, just like no one's mixtape will touch Tavon Austin's from college. Basically, what I'm trying to say is I like Crystal Palace. I like Zaha. I think they're going to finish 12th on 50 points.
I am rolling with what Jake just said, 15th place. I like the move they just made with Queen's Park Rangers. I don't know how to pronounce his first name, but it's Eze, I believe, or something along those lines.
Eze.
He's quality. That's going to give another option for them up front with Zaha. So that's going to make him have another guy that they can use because Jordan Ayew's been quality, relatively scored some great goals for them this year. Christian Benteke really hasn't done much for them in the recent years. So 15, I think it's going to be somewhat comfortable, but by the end of week 34, somewhere around then, they'll probably clinch safety. So relatively okay team, nothing special. Zaha hasn't really performed. I expect a better season from him. Didn't really contribute to a lot of goals last season, but an average team, 15th place.
That Etsy thing, they had a mix. It was a Pop Smoke Zaha mix, and then combined with it was a J Hus Etsy mix. Fire. I'm excited.
Okay, let's move on to Everton. Jake?
Everton. Another season where they're going to have a lot of pressure after a lot of midfield signings. Should be a quality team. I just don't – I have them finishing 9th, okay? Now, 9th I think is a little – I think they could finish anywhere between 9th and 6th, to be fair, because they have the quality for it. And I know Ancelotti's good for it. Ancelotti's a world-class manager. But I'm not sure how long they're going to be able to keep up the momentum for. So I'm thinking 9th place for Everton. Quality team, but I don't know if they're at that level where they can qualify for Europa yet.
I got them at 8th. My guy Moise Kean. My guy Richarlison. They got it. My guy Ancelotti, they got it done. 8th place. Let me check. 61 points for me. That's my take on them. I like them. Rodriguez, good signing too. I just like them, man. I think they're going to finally show up. I hope we get a good Merseyside derby too.
Yeah.
Actually, I would agree. I have them in seventh. I was torn on whether or not they could do anything more, like Joe or Jake just mentioned. 6 through 9 is somewhere they could probably end up. I like the move for James Rodriguez that got finalized today. Allen got finalized in the recent days. Decore might be in as well. That makes a pretty solid midfield with Andre Gomes there, Tom Davies, Sigurdsson. So they have a really decent team, a very good manager who probably is coaching a team that isn't on the same level as him and his coaching resume. But Everton's on the up. They have some really solid players. I would expect Moise Kean to hopefully get more minutes, just from a neutral's perspective. Richarlison's very good. There's a reason why Barcelona came in for 100 million for him. He's got talent and he's super young. But seventh place, solid finish for them, and we'll see what happens. But we'll move on to Fulham, who just got promoted through the playoff. Joe Bryan with a brace in the final to beat Brentford. That was a crazy game. A fantastic free kick to get the opener. But Jake, how you got them?
I have to respect Fulham. They're a team that never stays out of the Premier League for too long. And I have to respect them for winning the playoff. Many teams fail, and they did it. That being said, they're finishing 20th. That's all I have to say.
Yes, they are finishing 20th, and I'll give you a point total for that too. 22 points for them.
Oh, I said 28 points. I think they're going to get 28.
Interesting. I have Fulham at 19th. I was torn between two teams to finish bottom. They had a trouble doing well last season. Anthony Robinson, great to see him in the Premier League after getting his move from Wigan.
Yeah,
should play a lot of minutes at left back. But then again, they do have Joe Bryan, so it's going to be interesting to see. Mario Lemina also came from Southampton, who has kind of struggled, but he has some creativity to him. So that might be a decent move. But they're going to rely on Mitrovic to score 15, 20 goals. Is that possible? Probably not, especially against Premier League class defenders. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. But yeah. I got them in 19th. Let's move on to another team that came up but through winning the league, the championship. That's Leeds United. So, Jake, what do you got?
Leeds United is a team that should have been in the Premier League for time now. Quality team, a very, very good manager in Mark Bielsa. I have them finishing 11th. I think Leeds are going to be a team that are going to surprise some people. I think people expect Leeds to stay up anyways because they have such a big fan base and a really good side. But I think Leeds are going to finish in 11th. Quality side. Calvin Phillips, playing for the England national team, that's a big move for him. They've got a lot of players all around the pitch that can play well. And I trust them to really take control of games when I think they're going to grind out results more than a regular championship team would when they come to the Premier League. I think they know how to handle themselves better as Bielsa is guiding them. I think they're going to finish 11th on 11th on, what would I say, 53 points. They'll break 50.
Wow. We're so close to being in agreement. I got them at 11th on 51 points. I think they're a good team. I like Leeds. Good for them. They're up. They're going to stay up for a decent amount of time too. Mm-hmm. Where they deserve.
Yep, I was really close to you guys. Got him in 10th. Bielsa's a very good manager. Probably is going to keep them in this league for a while if he continues to stay. They held on to Jack Harrison, who's the Man City product. So there's definitely some other players in there. Calvin Phillips, like you just mentioned. Rodrigo, who came from Valencia, is going to be a guy who probably will score double-digit goals and lead their line. So I'm interested to see how they play. I think he's a great manager, like we just mentioned. And I think he's going to keep them mid-table, which is a really good thing for them since they haven't been in the Prem for a couple of years. Let's move on to a team that bottled top 4 last season, and that's Leicester City. Jake?
7th place. I think we know they have quality all over the pitch, as we've said. They're actually a very, very good team on paper, to be fair. In defense, midfield, attack, and even their keeper, Kasper Schmeichel, I think is top 5. But I don't think they're going to have the same juice that they had this year. They're going to finish 7th for me. Quality team, but not top 6 worthy.
Just like on Dave's album when he said, like I'm in Leicester skipping my lectures, 10th for Leicester. They're going to finish
reasoning?
10th with 59 points. I think that the way that they finished the season last year, kind of a blow to them mentally. I think they're kind of just going to be like, wow, we really did that. And just because of that, I just don't think they're going to be able to regain that form.
Along the same lines as Joe, I think last season is kind of a good showing of what's going to happen this season. I think they're going to be very reliant on Jamie Vardy once again, which they've been relying on him for the last 5 years. And it's going to come back to bite them. I don't think they have enough depth. Ben Chilwell hasn't been replaced. I think actually he was replaced, but a guy that plays really right back, right wing back for Atalanta, and that's Castagne. So it's going to be interesting to see if he plays there. Could Ricardo Pereira move to left back? Not sure. Got them in 9th place. Don't know if they can retain a top 6 place, but I just don't see it. I think 9th place for them. But we'll move on to my club, and that is Liverpool. Jake, how are we feeling about them?
I'm going to keep it short and sweet. They're the best club team in England. They're going to finish on 92 points in 1st place. The only team touching them is Manchester City, who will bottle it. Liverpool will win again. Closer this season, it'll only be 3 or 4 points, but they're going to win it again. They're just too quality. The team isn't at that point where they're going to fall off yet. I think they're at their peak. If they lose Wijnaldum, that'll be a big loss, but they may add Thiago in his place. You just add like for like. It's just too good. I don't have much to say. 1st place.
The Unbearables will win the title again on 91 points. The Unbearables. See, the Joe and Jake brain trust most of the time. Very good. Very good.
Maybe no war today.
What?
Maybe no war today.
I know. Well, we've been pretty consistent on where we're at. We're going to disagree at one point, obviously, but that's just biases aside. We've been pretty even.
Yeah, I also have Liverpool winning the Premier League title. With Leo Messi news coming out last week, it kind of pretty much solidified it for me. If Koulibaly comes in, it'll make it tighter. But that 18-point gap that occurred last season, was it really an 18-point worthy gap between 1st and 2nd? Probably not, but I don't like Man City. I think they got some issues still. Ederson's a suspect goalie. They really haven't resolved the left back position. Manager. There is some age issues in there. Fernandinho's playing big minutes. Aguero's going to play big minutes. There is some older guys in that squad that's going to play big minutes. So Liverpool's going to win the title. I don't know. It's going to be a little bit tighter, but I think we're going to win it again, and I hope so. But we'll move on to the team that's going to challenge them, in our opinion. That is Manchester City.
Your opinion, not mine.
2 out of 3. Jake, what do you got?
Manchester City, 89 points, 2nd place. Again, this is a team that should be competing every year. They do, but they don't have enough organization. I think Klopp's a better manager than Pep is. It's pretty simple. I think they're just going to finish 2nd, 3-4 points behind Liverpool. Yeah.
Pep. You fraudulent, bald fraud of a manager.
Said it
You're
twice.
finishing 3rd on 86 points, and you're not even a top 2 manager in the Premier League right now. I hope you know that. You're going to bottle it again. You're not going to win it, the Prem. You're not going to win the Champions League. And once again, it'll be another failure for you and your bald head.
Wow, that is a lot of ball and a lot of fraud, apparently. So,
yeah.
Manchester City is going to finish 2nd. It's going to be tighter, like I just mentioned. I think the team is loaded. Will the errors and individual errors, which really costed them last season, I can look back at 2 games against Wolves where they made really poor errors, a red card in one of the games at the Molineux, and there were some other games just throughout the season that really just were predicated off bad errors that costed them either 3 points or 1 point. So I think they are still going to be a fantastic team. Pep isn't the greatest manager in the league, and I don't know where I would rank him overall in the world, but I don't see them beating Liverpool. I think the gap, like I just mentioned, too big to overcome. So Manchester City.
I'd also just like to mention one thing real quick. For the new viewers who are watching this video for the first time, I actually have a reason for why I think Pep is overrated and fraudulent. You guys just have to go watch that video. Maybe we can put the link in the bio or something like that.
We'll do.
Just because,
it'll be in the description.
Just because I'm not it's kind of a hot take for those who are new, but like I've been on this train for a long, long time, and obviously me just saying he's a bald fraud sounds kind of like a baby reason, but I actually do have a reason. So just want to put that out there.
Let's move on to the other Manchester club, and that is Manchester United. Jake, how you got them?
4th place, going to finish 1 point above Arsenal. This Jadon Sancho deal, if that went through, they could be a top 3 side. But as long as Jadon does not come into Manchester United, I think they're going to finish 4th. And I'm not fully confident on that either, but I think they're good enough. They'll finish 4th. Bruno is a quality player. The defense is getting better. Wan-Bissaka is good. If Rashford and Martial can put together a good season like they had last season, no reason why they shouldn't finish top 4. I got them 4th.
I have them 4th as well. we know I don't like Ole at all. I think he's not that good of a manager. I think he's more of a man manager than a game manager. But I do think they have a lot of talent. They're going to continue to win penalties because, VAR is Manchester VAR United at this point. I mean, they were by far the most rewarded team from the implementation of VAR in the Premier League. But I also don't think that – I think they're a big hot and cold team. They run on a lot of emotion. I think they're going to finish fourth and considerably lower on fourth on 77 points.
Yeah, I think this clean sweep. I think you're talking about a team, like you just mentioned. I think the gap between third and fourth could be really big. The Jadon Sancho move, that would have probably put them right there with Chelsea to finish third, in my opinion at least. I think that's a guy that would have scored 15 goals at least and maybe had double-digit assists. That's the kind of activity he can have in front of net and in the final third. But Donny van de Beek is a solid signing. Wasn't really the major issue they had to fix, but it's still a good squad depth player that could probably play some major minutes. But Martial, I believe, will have a very good season. I think Rashford, health, if all three of their big three up front, which is Greenwood, Rashford, and Martial, and then you also have Bruno and Pogba, I think it's a solid team. They need more depth, which is why they are going to finish fourth, but still a solid season, another top four finish for them. But move on to Newcastle United, who made two moves today for AFC Bournemouth players, which probably will influence all three of our opinions. But Jake, we'll start off with you.
Yeah, have them going 16th. Now, I'm not confident in that. They could fall anywhere between 13th and 16th for me. They won't go lower than 13th. They won't go higher than 16th. They're a team that's kind of just little – you don't really know what you're going to get from them on the day. They can come out. They beat Manchester United last season. That's a big result for them. They can lose relegation sizes as well. I'm not sure how much I have faith in them. 16th.
I got them very close, 17th on 39 points. They're okay. They're a good team. I like ASM, but I don't think they're going to really be pushing to. I think they'll be in the relegation fight.
Well, apparently I'm going to have the hot takes. I have them in 11. Now, Callum Wilson. Okay, let me argue this because I think there's some relatively – okay, anyway. Callum Wilson's a solid striker. Ryan Fraser is a good winger. You have St. Maxime on the right, who's very dangerous in my opinion. Joel Linton would have a better season, my opinion, when you have more attacking talent, and it's all not focused on just him. I think it's a very decent team. I think that front five, in reality, Almiron had a better second half of the season. I don't know if that could really happen, but in my opinion, I think 11th is a place where you can have them. So hot take or not, 11th place for Newcastle. But we'll move on to a team that Joe wrote an article for TWSN, the website we write for. So we'll also put a link in the description for that article. Got a lot of backlash from Sheffield United fans on Twitter. But we'll start off with Jake. Where do you got them?
Sheffield United will finish 12th. Second season syndrome won't be too bad for them. They'll probably come back down to earth. They'll finish just behind Leeds, but they're a quality side. I trust Chris Wilder. Good side. Nothing much to say.
Aaron Ramsdale's not a good goalkeeper. Dean Henderson was much better. 16th place in the relegation fight. I don't think they're going to get relegated. I think a lot of Sheffield fans misunderstood what I said in my article. I said they're going to be in the relegation battle. Doesn't mean I think they're going to get relegated. They're going to be fighting against it at some point in the season. But I think they'll actually make it clear comfortably at the end with 41 points.
I'm on the same page as Jake. I have them in 12th place. Didn't make a lot of moves in the summer, and trust the coach. I think that's the reason why they're going to finish where they are. 12th place from a great manager. They did get Ethan Ampadu I can't pronounce his name, but that's the guy from Chelsea, center back. Ampadu, yes. And Ramsdale, I agree with Joe. That point's a very solid point. It's a goalkeeper that was playing at Bournemouth. Struggled last season. Dean Henderson, there's a reason why he's pushing David De Gea at Manchester United. But, yeah, I think they'll comfortably finish in 12th just based off their solid team and their decent manager. So we'll move on to Southampton, another team that has a relatively solid coach. But, Jake, where you got them?
I got them equal on points with United at 49. Sheffield United at 49. I have them at 13th. They're solid, but, I mean, they're not going to make the next step, that push to be top half of the table, and they're not going to be worse to be 15th, 16th. I think Danny Ings is a really, really quality striker. Midfield's going to be pretty good. Yeah, I'm thinking 13th.
See, I'm gonna disagree on you. I really like the manager. I really, really like Danny Ings. I got them at 9th on 55 points.
Yeah, I think you have a team, in my opinion, which Joe's going to like this. I think Hoiberg, they lose Hoiberg. That's a bigger deal than most people would think. I have them in 16th place fighting relegation. I like the coach. I like some of the pieces. Danny Ings is a quality striker, probably deserves to be playing for a better team, and probably will score a decent amount of goals. Nathan Redmond. They have some other guys, Stuart Armstrong. There's some other players. Che Adams will have probably a better season because he struggled coming in from Birmingham. But 16th, I think they're going to fight relegation, but they will eventually become safe. But we'll move on to Joe's team, and that is Tottenham Hotspur. Definitely going to have an interesting take from somebody down in the bottom of the screen. But, Jake, where do you got them?
19th. Next, let's go.
20th now. All right,
Is that
Jake,
like
what
an
do you
actual
actually have?
take, or is that actually where you have them at?
I actually
What's the
have
real
them
take.
6th place behind Arsenal on 71 points. And not much to say. Don't trust Jose. 6th place.
See, I really like Jose. I think we're going to come out good this year. I think I think we're going to win a trophy. I think we're going to fade towards the end of the season just based on amount of games. I mean, this is all given. If we're not healthy, we're going to be maybe 9th or 10th if we lose Kane or Son.
Oh, you're finished. Oh.
But given and everyone that I think is healthy, I think we're going to finish 5th on 70 points. So actually, Jake has us doing better, but we just finished higher on mine. Interesting.
I'm going to go with Joe on this one. I think it was tight between Spurs and Arsenal. I got them in 5th. I don't trust Jose, but the team, if they can stay healthy on paper, is really probably better than, and arguably better than Arsenal, probably even coming close to Manchester United, in my opinion. I mean, Heung-min Son, Harry Kane, there's a lot of quality in that team.
Sergio.
Yeah, there's quality in the team. I don't personally like the manager, in my opinion, but I think the quality of the team will get them over the top and finish over their rivals. So
Get ratio.
we'll move on to our last 3 teams, and that is we'll start off with West Brom. Jake?
West Brom will survive. 17th place on 32 points. I don't know why. I like them. I think they're going to stay up. I don't have much to say. I think they've been in the Premier League before. They're going to stay up, and I think they're going to just survive. I don't have much to say. Quality.
19th for me at 29 points. I just don't like West Brom. I don't think that. I think they're going to be okay. I just don't think they have the quality to stay up, though.
Yeah, I have West Brom finishing bottom. Didn't like their team. I don't know if I can trust Bilic to retain that team back in the league. He was not great with West Ham. Not a really great squad, in my opinion. I think it's really top heavy. And to be honest, I don't even know if I like a lot of their team. Matthias Pereira, who they had last season, was in the team of the season for the championship, is now back with the team. But I don't personally like the team. I don't think they have enough talent to stay up. 20th place. So now we have West Ham. Jake, where do you got them?
West Ham got them at 14th. Just another season where they're not good and they're not horrible completely. They're bad this season. Nearly got relegated. They've got too much talent to be finishing 14th, 15th, but that's where they're going to end up. Yeah, I don't rate them very highly, but they're not the worst team either. 14th for me.
I got them at 15th on 42 points. I like Declan Rice a lot. I actually think they have a decent amount of talent on their team. I like Antonio as well, although I don't like him. I think he's a good player. I just don't like him as a player. Yeah, 42 points, 15th place for West Ham.
I got West Ham in 13th place. I think the squad they have is really solid. I think they just really struggled under Pellegrini, and then David Moyes I just don't think is a good manager at this point.
Yeah.
Has struggled at almost every big club, and even though West Ham aren't a big club, he still isn't doing a great enough job. They were fighting relegation, and then Mikel Antonio pretty much went on the afterburners for the last 10 weeks of the season and was pretty much scoring on everybody at will. He'll be a big player. Felipe Anderson is a quality player who they got from Lazio, had a very good first season, did not have a very good second season. They have a lot of good other players, in my opinion. They have Lanzini, Pablo Fornals, who came from Villarreal. I think if they can hold on to Declan Rice, that's what's going to keep them up. 13th place, solid season. But we'll move on to our last team, and that is Wolves. Jake, where you got them?
intriguing team, a team that I kind of like. They're right there at Leicester. I have them finishing 8th, just behind Leicester. That could go either way. I think Leicester could finish 8th, Wolves 7th, or it could be flip-flopped. I think they're going to finish with 66 points. Traore's at the top, just speedy, too fast, too strong. I like Jimenez. I like Ruben Neves in the middle. They have Joao Moutinho. A lot of quality all over the pitch, but they're not really that top-tier team yet. They kind of falter towards the end of the season. They did that in the restart. And, 8th place for me.
I got them at 7th on 63 points. I like Traore. I think they're doing a good job revitalizing the squad. It'll be interesting to see what happens with Jimenez. He might be coming to Tottenham, so we'll see what happens with them and how they replace
Really?
him.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, we're linked with him.
Yeah, I also have where Jake put him 8th place. Really solid team. Could have been anywhere, like I just mentioned earlier in the video. 5 through 9 was tough for me to pick a team in that specific order. But Wolves, like Jake mentioned, Adama Traore is going to be great for them. Jimenez, if is retained, will probably score between 15 and 20 goals again. They have a really solid team, really good coach, all around a very good team in my opinion, and that'll get them an 8th. But that's all we have for today. This is by far probably our most exciting video. We'll see what this happens in 8 months, 9 months when the season's over, and we'll see who got the most teams right. But stay tuned for more videos. We'll be doing a ton of previewing and stuff for the Premier League. But that's all for us today. Thank you, and please like and subscribe as well.